Their song.
Yeah. I got to get some. My neighbor's got like, I think 15 or 20 or something like that. They have a whole bunch.
Uh,
Yeah. Well, everybody have a good week.
yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
How are you?
Good. Good. It was a really good week, actually. Nice and chill. And kids went back to school this week, so spring break's over and everything was good. Lindsay, how's
Nice.
your ADU coming along? I know you said you found chicken. How's the progress?
The progress is going right now. I'm waiting for there's just some questions about the electrical, where the electrical meter is going to go. So I'm waiting for the city. They asked me to draw up a diagram where like the charging load of the ADU. So I'm having my contractor do that. And that's mostly what's holding us. But there was a couple updates. I don't know if you guys are interested, but since my ADU is lower than the main house, they require us to have flushing around the ADU. And what that means is like, I guess, waterproofing per se. So they have to dig down all around the ADU to put some flushing before the insulation goes up. So I have dirt and then I have cement because I do have a pool in the backyard. So they have to dig below like a foot and a half, I think they said. And then so that's an added cost.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Didn't see that coming.
Shoot.
So that's
And you're too far in to turn around now, right?
yeah, I can turn around for sure.
Yeah.
And there's also a porch attached to the back of the garage. And I can't seem to find a permit for that. I'm sure it was built like that, but the supervisor is saying, the inspector is saying like it's not up to code. So you're gonna have to demo it or get a permit. And then once you get a permit, you have to do it up to code. So that's gonna be an added cost, but I don't know how I'm gonna get around that.
Oh man.
I know. California.
Good. Well, does anybody have anything else they want to share about their week? Any wins, losses, anything good, bad? And it looks like we have a couple new people this week.
Amin and Flavio, good morning.
Somebody said they're Grandview, Washington.
Hi guys, good morning.
Good morning, Sally.
Good morning. I'm back for the second time. I really don't have anything to share, but I'm working and I'm driving and all that. But at least I wanted to show up and get your energy, which is always inspiring. And yeah, I'm actually working with a friend of mine who wants to buy a multifamily in California. So we're looking at a few options right now, and see where that goes. Maybe her journey somehow sips into mine, and we can get things at the same time. So
where's this at? This multifamily at?
This one is it's actually something that just came into the market. It's between San Leandro and Oakland, so it's like right there. Seems fine, in the outside. I called the realtor and hasn't been very friendly just yet. Hasn't sent me any information, but I'm gonna go into the MLS and check today. It's a 4-unit multifamily, and it's 830,000.
Oh wow, that's not bad.
It's not bad. It looks really good from the outside. So I'm actually wondering where is the catch. So we'll see. I'll bug him today again, and then I'll bug JJ, who is my resource, my resource when it comes to these things. And then we'll go from there. But yeah, it's exciting. So
good. Congratulations.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Nice.
Are you a realtor, Sally?
I am, but I'm very new at it. I got my license last year, and more with the idea of doing it for myself than doing it as a profession. Then it got kind of switched, and I was like, okay, maybe I can I can get a profession out of this. But it was really hard. I couldn't figure it out. JJ was really helpful. That's when we met. We were part of the same team. But the journey was, I don't think I was ready for what it meant and what I had do. The team was great. I just didn't have the resources to support myself while doing the real estate, because you make no money whatsoever when you are selling. So then I went into property management, which is what I'm doing now. So it's sort of related, and it definitely opens up the window to to more deals, more commercial deals. So that's where things stand right now.
Nice. Well, congratulations. That's already progress. That's good.
Yeah, I think so. Small progress, but at least I'm in the environment.
Yeah. At least you're not scared to
but
reach out and get information. And
yeah,
good.
yeah. I'll keep you guys posted. Hopefully, things get,
Yeah.
improvements are
Hopefully, good news
noticeable
by
along
next
the way.
week. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. I'll stay here. I have, people that are gonna come and talk to me, but I'll stay here and
No,
listen
you're
to
fine. Appreciate it.
you. Thank you.
Kenny, Jen, good morning.
Morning.
I just
Morning,
want to
man.
kind of introduce myself. My name's Ammon. I am new to investing, and currently one of the reasons I'm kind of newer, don't have any properties yet, is because I live in Washington, and the rent laws or landlord laws are pretty terrible here. And so they're trying to increase, or they're trying to start a rent cap increase and all that stuff. So I'm looking at out of state properties to start investing. And so I saw this group and I was like, well, this is probably the group I should join. Learn a little bit more from people that have currently been doing it. So a little background on me is I'm a nurse. I've been a nurse for about 8 years, mostly working in the ER. So working with systems and doing all that stuff, making sure protocols and everything. So I'm trying to learn how I can implement that into a real estate portfolio.
Awesome. Well, welcome. Appreciate you joining today. And yeah, this would be great for you to ask questions. And a couple of us invest all over the country. So any help we can provide, greatly appreciate your time and being here.
What city are you in Washington?
I'm in Bremerton, or just like a little place off Bremerton, which is west of Seattle, about like 30 minutes by ferry.
Okay. Because I don't know if you know, like Dion Talk Financial Freedom. He's in Washington, and they have meetups sometimes there too. So might be good. He's got a YouTube channel. He's got a lot of good information. He does a lot of house hacking within Washington, so might be good. Good guy for you to follow.
Okay. So Dion.
Yeah, Dion Talk Financial Freedom is his YouTube. And I
Okay.
know he has meetups
What city
periodically.
is he in?
I forget exactly, but I want to say he's maybe like an hour from Seattle, I think.
Okay.
But yeah.
Bremerton's there's like a military base over there, right?
Yeah, there's 2 military bases essentially in Bremerton, and then there's one about an hour away in Tacoma.
Okay, I think I've been to Bremerton. I had a friend stationed out there. I went out there a couple years ago. I think it was Bremerton. He was living in.
I believe Dion has a meetup every month in Tacoma, actually. And the
Okay.
group is called Tacoma 5 Financial Independence. So FI, I put it on the chat just in case if you want to check it out too.
Okay, thank you.
Well, so what are you, Amal, is there any places you're looking at, interested in, or where are you at in the process of investing? Are you just kind of just super new and green, or what are you thinking about?
I've been looking a long time, but like it's kind of like, I guess, finding that buy box, like where is a good place for me to actually do that. Eventually I plan on moving from Washington, so I guess it's kind of where do I want to move to. I do want to continue being a nurse because I like what I do, but eventually this would be like more of the retirement part of so it's like, where can I make decent money as a nurse and also be a real estate investor? So currently I'm looking around the Midwest. That's where I'd currently look. But I guess I'm open to wherever, because I can go wherever as a nurse. So
yeah. So you want to be in the Midwest, and you don't mind moving to these areas, like the lower purchase price areas of real estate investing? Like you don't mind being over there, South, Midwest, things like that?
Yeah, I don't mind moving there eventually. I mean, like, sure, right now it might be out of state investing, but eventually I do kind of want to move to an area where these things are. So
that's cool. Well, Lindsay, do you want to talk about like how you found your first market still, or how you found Gary, or?
Also, I used to be a nurse. I used to travel learn. But you do have a few markets here, just so you know. Vincent's Alabama. I'm in Indiana. Ryan is in Detroit, Michigan. Kenny and Jen both are in Texas. Amelia's in Oregon. Renee just purchased in Arizona, and I'm not 100% sure what Val is. I don't remember. But you do have a few markets here. When I started, I was trying to take advantage of a traveling contract. So I was looking at Illinois just because the pay, I'm sure that you're used to the pay in Washington. So it's not such a difference in Chicago downtown. So I was looking for markets around my area. So whenever you're like, I'm sure you're gonna have to keep your W-2 or some kind of nursing job. So take into consideration that. Look for markets next to you. That the easiest way that I thought initially was like to house hack. Because since being a traveling nurse, I housed people in my home before, and then I didn't think it was gonna be such a big ask for me if I was like, for example, living in Chicago and getting a townhouse and renting out the other room, house hacking. But if that's not an option for you, I would definitely recommend like looking at metro areas and then look like you're doing right now, 1 hour away from those metro areas whenever you're gonna take a contract or take a different job and looking at those secondary markets for sure. I ended up in Indiana because I was looking at Illinois, but I started investing during the pandemic, and in Illinois, since it's a renter-friendly state, there was a lot of moratoriums going on that a lot of people were not getting rents. So I decided to start investing in a red state. And I found people that were investing successfully in the state already. So I just leveraged their resources, basically, the property managers, the realtors, their whole network, contractors. And they were actually small creators on YouTube, and they were showing all of their information, all of their deals, number by number, down payment, closing cost, anything that they needed to do.
Awesome. Ryan, how did you pick Detroit?
Actually, I don't know if you're familiar with Resi Club, but I get their email, and on the bottom of the email they had investing in Detroit or whatever, and I clicked on, his article. So it was Travis and Nader. They're basically wholesalers, but Travis invests in Detroit himself. He's got 12 rentals there. And so I started reading a lot of his blogs and whatever, and then set up a call with them and my wife. And so yeah, I decided just to take the plunge. I did some vetting, I asked for like 3 references or whatever and talked with the references, and they had good things to say and stuff. So they sell themselves as an all-in-one solution where you buy and they help with the rehab type thing as well. So obviously they're making money, and then you're making money too because they got enough room in the deal to where you're gonna do it right as well. So yeah, I ended up going with that process because they help with the contractors and have reputable contractors and stuff, and it's been a good process so far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That actually kind of was really interesting that Amon said he wants to move eventually to where these places were. So that's why I was trying to think of how I would pick an area if I wanted to actually go there or end up there. That just makes it a little bit harder for me. That was a really interesting perspective that Amon had about that, like wanting to go there eventually. Because I don't want to go to Alabama at all anymore.
I don't know that I want to go to Detroit either.
Yeah. I think, Amon, like how I would look at that if I were you is like, what are your interests? What are you into? And then what are your goals in investing? And then try to line both of those up. And it might be hard, it might be possible, I don't know, or it might be perfect, I'm not sure. But if weather's your thing, then maybe not like Oklahoma or I don't know, like things like that you may want to consider. There also is a consideration that these properties are usually sub 150 grand, sub 200, and there's a reason why they're that price, right? So whether it's the economy, whether it's the weather, the demographics, whatever it is, Just something to take in consideration, you know, for your future and when you end up making the move. I
Sure.
know it
And
is, huh?
one thing is, I mean, like, I don't have to absolutely move to one of those places. I'm just, eventually I'm moving out of Washington,
Okay.
just because the tax system here is insane, and it's not going to be livable for many people.
Yeah. I would say come to California, but I think we're pretty similar.
That's one of the reasons I'm like, I gotta find a way to make more money, and
Yeah.
because like living here, I'm like, my parents won't be able to live here because they're on a fixed income,
Mhm.
um, and their property taxes are skyrocketing. It went up, I think, about like 100% in the last 3 years. So
Wow.
like property taxes are skyrocketing here.
Yeah. Jeez. One thing Ryan brought up was these communities, these wholesale groups that'll send a really detailed spreadsheet on a deal that they lock up under contract. And like Ryan was saying, also like they'll help you with the rehab, they'll help you with management, they'll help you find the deal, everything, funding. It's kind of a one-stop shop. Sometimes those are good when getting into new markets. Um, I started out with boots on the ground. I had a cousin who was a realtor out in the area, and that kind of just, but I was super, super green, super new. And I was like, well, that's kind of a no brainer. Let's just go with this area. And then I just learned so much about it and just stayed with it. And it's grown so much now. But I think if you have somebody in these markets you're interested in is good, but also join a lot of these wholesale groups. I know Ace is a good one. Ryan, what was the name of yours?
Well, so there's a Detroit Metro real estate group, but basically Lance Lambert sends out a lot of analytics as far as like real estate and stuff. So it was basically an advertisement on one of his emails that he sends out.
Yeah, yeah, and the more you join groups like this or Dion's groups or online communities, like you'll find a ton of these groups, whether these wholesale groups or I know when we were in Vegas, I met Lindsay's the one Lindsay's affiliated with. I forgot what they're called though, but they're based out of Indiana. They do a lot of deals out there, and that may be a good way to analyze markets by just getting deals sent to you, and then you do your own due diligence and researching these each of these areas or wherever they sit. Because I've gotten some from some towns in Pennsylvania I've never even heard of, but it looks good, but I just don't know about it. I haven't done my due diligence research on it yet. So I would say look around and just see kind of what markets, what areas you're interested in, and try to join groups that'll send you deals. And it's kind of like spoon feeding you a deal. You have to still do your due diligence, make sure it's a good deal, because a lot of the time they will run numbers a little bit higher to sell the deal.
Hmm.
So make sure you do your own homework on it. But that comes with also learning how to analyze a deal. So there's a lot that goes into it, right?
One question I had is, I guess most of the time when I hear of wholesalers, they're mostly doing like fixer uppers. Are there wholesalers that do just like turnkey rentals as well?
Mm-hmm. Yep. So you can, I would build, or actually it might be too early for you. Yes, there's turnkey companies that will just fix up properties and then market them off market. So somebody will come in, purchase a property for 40,000. They'll put the 20 into it, fix it up, make it nice and beautiful, and then they'll sell it off market and just pitch it to everybody. Hey, we have a turnkey ready to go. Sometimes with the rent already in place for 80,000, whatever, 90,000, whatever it is. Yes, you can buy turnkey and essentially walk into a nice remodeled house. Then there's groups that will do that too. I bought two from a turnkey company like that. That just they pitch them off market, and yeah, so yeah, you have to just get in these spaces and learn where to find these groups and communities at. But you can find all the way from a burnt down property to a turnkey, nice, beautiful one through wholesalers and through marketing agencies.
Yeah, there are a lot of turnkey companies. If you're interested in an area, like I would suggest like talking to them just to see what they're offering. They will give you a pro forma, which is basically a paper breaking down like what the cash flow is or what the expenses are. And a lot of turnkeys, they will also play the renters as well. Like I know in Indiana, there's a turnkey provider that will sell it to you with the renter in place. So as the only downside is like you might not see as much cash flow from that property, but that depends on you. What's your goal? What are the numbers that you want to hit? Like $100 per door, $200, or do you need like a percentage yield on your cash flow?
Yeah.
But you
Or it
can
depends on how you're purchasing the deal. Is it cash? Is it financing? So those are things you're gonna have to, think about as what you want to look like. The more hands off you are on the deal, the less the cash flow will be. The more hands on you're in the deal, the more the cash flow will be. But it also depends how you're purchasing too. Are you coming in with a down payment? Then you have to think about purchase prices because you can't buy a $40,000 property with a loan, 30-year traditional loan usually. So, or it will be hard to find, I'll say.
We have trouble identifying himself.
Yes.
We've gotten a lot of value from the Burr Invest group too. I don't know if you've joined that group or not. They push his academy a lot in there, but besides that, I mean, I get a lot of value in there too.
Mm.
Okay.
No, that's the Burr. What is it called?
It's called the Burr Invest group.
Burr Invest Group. I have to look that up.
Yeah, BRR. Like the Burr, they spell it BRR. Like
Mhm.
the buy, rehab, rent, refinance, repeat. Burr Invest Group. I can. While we're on here, I can look it up here quick.
Yeah, if you can send that in.
Yeah, I'll put in the chat here.
4/27, Jen. What day is that?
So it's a Sunday.
Sunday.
So do you have a buy box, Ammon?
I'm working on that. Like I said, I'm trying. Like I'm brand new. I'm trying to figure out what exactly it is I want to do.
Mm.
So this is kind of like joining groups, figuring out what I kind of want to do, figuring out what my limitations are first, and then going from there. And like, do I actually want to do it in Washington because I live here, or can I make it work? I mean, of course, everything comes down to is the numbers going to work. So
I do know that I lived in Gig Harbor for 2 years, so I do know that Washington is pretty high on taxes and cost of living. So the reason why I chose Arizona was the taxes are much lower, even from the state that I live in now, which is Minnesota, and they are a more landlord-friendly state versus a tenant-friendly state. I come from a tenant-friendly state right now, and there's just nothing to buy. If there is something to buy, you're taking a risk because they're in areas where they have caps on the rents. It can take you 6 months to a year to evict somebody. Some of those people got like reprieve during COVID, where they didn't even have to pay for over a year.
Wow.
But I'm so excited for you, Ammon. You're in the best place
Mhm.
to be at to start investing, because I wish I had a group like this when I started, like in 2023, 2022. I don't remember, but you can reach out to any of us individually, and then we'll don't mind hopping on a call or talking to you at all. So I'm so excited for you.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I walked in blindly, and like having to be able to ask questions is definitely really helpful.
Mhm.
Jen, I'm gonna try to come out there. That's like a
Yeah, I think I tagged you on school. I tried to tag as many
Okay.
people I could find in the Bay Area. We had one last time. It was about like 10 or 12 people. I
Yeah.
thought it was pretty cool. So yeah, try to come.
We're at in San Jose.
San Pedro Square.
Okay, I'll put it in the calendar.
Yeah, last time we went to a restaurant, like I picked it, and then they probably wanted to kick us out after 2 hours, but we wouldn't leave. So
Yeah.
this one's more casual, like you can get food if you want or not. Yeah, but yeah, it was good. It was a good Jim was there last time and JJ was there, so that was good. Yeah,
Oh,
come.
nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna try. I don't have anything in the calendar for now, but we don't have sports that day, so I should be able to come out.
Okay, book it. And it's in San Pedro Square, so they have TV. So if they have sports thing, you guys can all watch together.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And,
No,
and shout and curse and
My
whatever.
kids don't have games that
people
day.
do. Yeah.
That's so sad. I have FOMO now.
Come, Lindsay.
Yeah, fly. You can fly right to San Jose, Lindsay. There's an airport there.
We're trying to make it consistent. It's hard with everybody's schedule, but I think after the event in Vegas in February, we're trying to get that energy and the momentum going until next February. So we'll see.
Wait, how far is that from Oakland? Because I have a conference next week in Oakland, the weekend.
Probably the Zally. How far is Oakland from San Jose? Probably 40 minutes, maybe.
I would say something like that,
Yeah,
right?
I think it's under. It should be under an hour. It's a little closer. Let me see.
Oh, maybe I can make it.
Yeah, yeah. That'll be cool.
What are you doing in Oakland?
I have a work conference up there.
Oh, nice. Oakland to San Jose, 50. Oh, it's traffic now. Yeah, 40. It would normally be 41 minutes, but there's traffic now.
Oh, okay. Let me check my flight. What time is the meeting?
We'll change it for you. But it's right now it's 1:30 because Casey can come like after 1:30 from his job or so. Yeah, but we can do it all day long, Lindsay. Come on. Let us know. We'll adjust it. Yeah.
I'll text you.
Okay, cool.
I'm actually coming out there tonight, Lindsay, to LA.
What? Again?
Again, yeah.
Just move out here.
I'm going to. Oh, right. I'm actually going to the Laker Timberwolves game.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Are you a Timberwolves fan?
I'm actually more of a hockey guy, but yeah, I like to see local teams win.
Nice. Renee, are you a Timberwolves fan?
Oh, heck no. Heck no.
Oh.
Blazers all the way.
Oh,
I was never a Laker fan. Sorry.
nice. I wanted to bring up something today. Sorry, we were kind of off track. But how have you guys seen, and it was brought up earlier about the rent control with Amon, but have you guys seen any change with your rentals, with your rehabs, with any of your projects, with tariff changes or anything like that with the economy? Have you guys noticed any difference with anything in your portfolios or with your investing journey so far?
I reached out to my tenants to let them know, like, hey, your lease is up in 3 months. We're not going to do a rent increase this year. And they'd previously told my husband, like, oh, we're going to buy a house, so this will be our last year. And then they said that her husband works in the government and she works in marketing and they're unsure about everything. So they signed another year lease with us because they're not going to go ahead and buy a house.
Wow. So that worked out for you.
Nice.
Yeah.
Midterm rental senior reduction and increase for booking. Oh, with the midterm, who were you more getting as tenants? Was it like the nurses like for like a month, or was it insurance things, or what were you kind of looking at there with the midterms? Nurses are gone. Oh.
Where is your midterm, Rob? Oh.
Oh, even in San Diego. Wow. Yeah, that what's that? Traveling nomad?
People that work remote.
Nerd? Oh. Oh, so just go to like San Diego for a month and work and live and oh, that's cool.
I didn't know traveling nomads are like in the US. I thought I hear they do like international, right? Like they travel to different countries for a month and then work from like their rental and then they'll go to another country. But that's cool. I didn't know they had it here. But our midterm is booked now, but it's definitely more quiet. And then our STR is very quiet.
Is that because the weather, or you think it's just because like how things are right now?
I think it's because we are in vacation markets, like our STR, and I think that people are just, a little bit more worried, so they're not going on vacation as much. I think maybe, right? So just the uncertainty, and then I have a rehab. We have a rehab going, and I'm just trying to rush him because I'm afraid things might get more expensive if he drags it out. So we're furnishing another rental to be an MTR. So we'll see how that goes. I mean, we were forced to do that just because if we did long term, it wouldn't work out. So that was a necessity, I guess. So we'll see what happens. But I think for our STR, it's quieter. And I think because we're in vacation markets, people are just tighter and less willing to spend that extra money, right?
Worst
enjoying
case
it.
scenario, would it work to turn it into a long-term rental for you guys?
The STRs, they're purely in vacation market. So we have it's like Smokies, right? So it's like what is it here? Like Yosemite, let's say, right? It's harder to find a long term. So we just say we gotta ride it out. But of course, we don't have renters and things are breaking. So that's always fun.
Is the Smokies is in Tennessee, right?
Yeah, it's in Tennessee.
I think I watched the show yesterday. Said it's like the most visited national park.
Yeah, it's supposed to be the most visited, but yeah. And then the listings have exploded in that market as well, because I think a lot of people underwrote it incorrectly. Like during COVID, there was a big boom. So a lot of people underwrote it, assuming that kind of occupancy, and that's totally not what happened, right? So yeah, there's a ton of listings in the Smokies, but there's for the Texas market, there's a lot of listings too, to Rob's point. Yeah.
I bring that up. It was yesterday or 2 days ago. I was buying windows for one of the properties we're rehabbing, and a normal store that we've gone to prior to that. It's I wouldn't say I guess it is like a big box store. It's called Contractors Warehouse. I'm not sure how many there are across the country, but I've always got my windows from there. They've always given good prices, and I got almost the same amount of windows as my last project. And the price for the first one was like $3,200 for all the windows, and I was happy with that. Good. And then for the same amount of windows, I think it was one more. It was like $5,600. And I was like, wow, that's just a huge difference in a couple of weeks. I would say about 2 months, actually, of just that price difference. So I was able to find a new spot in Oakland that is directly correlated with China, and got them for like $2,800, and cut out a lot of the big box name and the middleman, and so that's why I was kind of bringing it up. Has anybody seen any changes with anything, whether it's rehabs or rents or things like that? But that's good to know about the short-term, midterm rental space.
I was on a meeting. I think it was old guy. I think his guy's name Chris K. Chris Cope or something. He said that whatever he does for his W-2, he said he deals with a lot of people from different countries. And he told us 2 weeks ago, he said, if you got projects coming up, go buy all your material. And so then I was like, what do you like, what does that mean? So he was just like, especially like your appliances. If you can go ahead and get your appliances, he said, get those. He said you would, any materials that, like he said, the next 3 to 6 months, if you got the budget, he said, go ahead on and get most of the materials that you can, because he said it will be a difference. So obviously you already have seen it now, just with purchasing of windows. So, and let's just also be honest. We have to look at this thing, as in, I've mentioned it myself as in saying like, hey, this is the COVID before COVID. At least with COVID, we didn't know what was coming. Now that we've been through it, now it's like, okay, these tariffs, we have an idea. So if it's any comparison, then just go ahead on and just, be prepared, because people are going to they'll have stuff still in the warehouse, and then they'll start running the prices up. Just to kind of stay in front of it, because they feel like, oh, well, everybody else is doing it, I'm going to do it too. So, that's just one of the things we definitely have to be aware of. And like I said, just try to shop around as much as possible. So
100% right. And I tell everybody, like, have as much knowledge as you can about real estate investing, but real estate investing is a fluid, pivotal career. Like, you have to just shift with the market. You have to shift with the changes. You have to just make moves, stay ahead of things, and, go with the punches, and expect volatility, all that. Like, you have to, it's not going to be the same thing in 5 years. Like, it's not going to be the same thing in 1 year. So you have to know how to pivot, shift, find material, find contractors, pay people, pay things. Like you just have to know how to work with the market and cater to what's going on. Well, good. Thank you, guys. I just wanted to see if anybody was affected by anything yet, and it sounds like it. We are, and it's coming, and hopefully everybody makes it out of this.
Does anybody have a question or something that they're having problems with?
I had a question for Vincent.
Yes.
I'm thinking about investing in Montgomery, Alabama. My mom and my stepdad live in Urbana, which is about, I want to say 30 minutes away.
I've heard of that, yeah.
And I've been calling some real estate agents. I've been talking to some property management companies. And I'm just wondering, in your experience in Alabama, I think I have about 3 zip codes picked out that I'm going to start building my buy box off of.
Yeah.
But is there any areas that you would avoid? And what is your experience with your tenants being Section 8 versus like regular tenants? And yeah, just a little bit about your experience in any areas you would avoid.
What are the 3 zip codes you have?
So 36105, 106, no.
No. 105, no. I have 1 and 105, and it was underappraised, hard to fill, and a war zone. And I have 1 of them.
Okay.
So stay out of 105, and then you said 106?
105, 106, 107.
106, 107 are good. 116, 117, and 109. Stay in those 5. 117. Sorry, 36117, 36116, 36109, 36107, and 36104. Stay in those.
Okay.
But 105, yeah, was hard. So yeah, I look at it by zip code. That's kind of how I know those. The actual like names of the subdivisions, I don't really know them that well. But yeah, 105. Even my private lender was like, "Dude, what are you doing?" He's like, "I'll lend on it, but I don't recommend this." It was hard to fill. I was showing it to a bunch of tenants. They're like, "I don't want to live here." And I was just so excited to buy it early on. I just did it, and I kind of regret. I mean, it still cash flows, but it's going to be hard to fill. One of those challenging ones, learning lesson. But you said you have family about 30 minutes away. You've been calling realtors and agents. What have you got a hold of anybody? Have they told you anything or?
Yeah, I talked to 2 real estate agents. One of them, he's also an investor. And he wouldn't give me zip codes because I know that's, against the law, but he was kind of talking about different areas. And then the property management companies, I've only called 2 so far, and there's a lot more that I can vet through, but I wasn't very impressed with either of them. So I'm glad that I'm doing the work before diving in.
Find the property before you find the manager.
Oh, okay.
I think you're going to spend way too much time vetting them rather than vetting properties.
Okay.
That they'll be. I have probably 5 or 10 somewhere deep in my phone I can give you that I've bought properties from, and they came highly recommended. I just don't use property managers out there. I self-manage.
Yeah.
But I just once I buy it, I could tell them, "Hey, thank you, but I'm not going to be using your services anymore," kind of thing. But they're easy. I feel like they'll be very easy to find. I just think don't get stuck in making sure you have one from day one.
Okay.
Find the property. If you want to go through an agent, find the agent, find the property, and put more of your time and effort into that. I would recommend. And then Section 8. I have about 4 or 5 Section 8 tenants. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 Section 8 tenants. And I really am a big fan of Section 8. Whenever I have a vacancy, I market both to Section 8 and I market both to a traditional tenant. I get both applicants usually. I always kind of pick the more qualified one. And it's usually the non-Section 8 for my latest vacancies. But I'm a big fan of their Section 8 system. It does take time, and they are the worst people to get a hold of, but once they're in, everything hits in the first, everything is good. I'm sure that's Section 8 across the country, right? But are you familiar with the process, like how everything works?
I know that the house has to be inspected by Section 8, and I think that they post it on their website as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so Section 8 has their affordable housing website. You can market the house on there. When you do find your house, and if you do want to go with them, that is one question you're gonna have to ask the property managers: do they deal with Section 8? Because some do, some don't. Yes, they'll come out, or the applicant will apply. They'll have a housing choice voucher packet. You'll fill that out. They'll submit it. They'll schedule an inspection. And this is really deep in the weeds, but you'll have somebody come in. They're gonna find something. And you can have a beautiful, perfect house. They're gonna find something. Fix what they're gonna find, and then they'll give you a date you can move in, and then it goes from there, kind of off to the races. So it's pretty simple and easy once they're in. There is a window after every lease is over where you can increase rents. And then they do their rents by zip code, no longer they used to do it by like neighborhood and territory, but now they do it by zip code. So the ones I gave you were pretty much one of the highest ones in the country, or in the city. Sorry.
Okay.
And yeah, I highly recommend it, but I also market to both. And the majority of my tenants are non-Section 8.
Okay. Thank you.
Does that help?
Yeah, no, that's super helpful. And if anyone else wants to chime in with like, hey, while you have Vincent on here, obviously ask him this. Tell me what questions I should be asking.
No, I mean, where do you currently have rentals at?
So I'm like an hour outside of Portland, Oregon.
Okay. And you have some there?
Yeah, so I have one duplex with 2 tenants.
Nice. Okay. And then you want to come to Montgomery? Yeah, I really like Montgomery. You don't have crazy weather shifts. It is different, obviously, from what we are on the West Coast, but there's no snow. It doesn't freeze like really bad. It gets cold, but it's not. You're not worried about like Ohio busting pipes and snow and things like that. No tornadoes. It's just I think it's a really decent area. It's more hot and humid than it is in anything. It's just that southern heat. I've found a good amount of tenants in the years. And then as far as labor and work, I've never really had an issue finding contractors, plumbers, HVAC, things like that. I'm really happy with the area. There's a lot of older landlords. So I purchased from a lot of people just getting out of the game and just done with buying real estate, or they're just tired of managing tenants. It is behind than what we're used to, I would say. So they are like, it's just not, I don't know how to explain this, but like I had to order a mirror to the house yesterday, and to like a vanity mirror, and I looked at, if it came to my house, it was going to come the same day, and then I sent it there, and it's going to come like Monday, and I'm like, oh man, Amazon isn't really as prevalent as it is like here at home in California. But so it's just a little bit I don't want to say behind, but just different pace than what we're on, and usually kind of. So as long as you can connect and deal with people out there, like, you'll succeed out there. I always say it's really, you put the work in, it's really easy out there to buy properties.
Vincent, do you feel like renters prefer single family, or is it any difference from like multifamily over there?
So I have no multifamily, but I think I've talked about it before. I like the single family space because it's a goal for these lower income tenants. I feel like they want the yard. They're so happy they've got 2 bathrooms and a nice big yard, front, back, a gated, all this kind of stuff. Like, they're happy, rather than being in a 4-unit where they're walking upstairs and they have 1 bathroom and it's maybe 1 or 2 bedrooms. I feel like it's just a goal for them being lower income. So I think it's easier to fill the single family space, especially somebody with a voucher. They want that yard. If they're getting free rent, of course they're going to pick a house over a 8-unit.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I feel the same in my market. If they have a voucher, then they would want that single family.
Oh, of course. I don't blame. Yeah, I mean, they all have to take care of a yard. They all have to take care of yard and all that stuff. And I feel like that's an added bonus for them that the kids can play. Because let's be real, like the majority of your tenant holder or your voucher holders are going to be single moms, predominantly 2 or 3 children, and they want their kids to play and have this house, and which I do too. I love to see that for them. I hope that helps, Amelia.
Yeah, no, that definitely helps. That kind of tracks with what I've been like looking on Zillow too. I noticed a lot of the listings will say, tenant in place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Tenant in place, get what their rent amount is.
Yeah.
Make sure you have that. Look at rent rolls, look at leases, get all the information you can. What was the realtor's name that you're dealing with? Do you remember?
Shoot. It's like Michael
Stroop?
Gosh, I have him in my contacts.
Michael Stroop.
Michael Atkins.
Oh, Michael Atkins. So Michael Stroop is under Michael Atkins. Michael Atkins is Harrison Atkins Real Estate.
Uh-huh.
So he owns Harrison Atkins. He's part or co-owner. So they're the best. They are by far the biggest and best out there.
Okay. Yeah, I really liked Michael.
Yeah,
Atkins.
he's good. Oh, that's cool. They're huge. That's good. That's the best contact to have in Montgomery.
Oh, okay.
As far as the realtor side. So I deal with him. He sends me portfolios. So they'll pick up like portfolios and then he'll just shoot me over Stroop will, his guy under him.
Yeah. One more question for Vincent, for Amelia's sake. So in your market, for the zip codes that you outlined, does affordable housing, the rate per zip code is the least amount of money you would get compared to the regular tenant, or is it pretty much comparable, like the amount of rent?
Yeah, I'll send you actually. Let me put it in.
You can calculate your numbers, Amelia.
Thank you, Lindsay.
So here, I think I can send it this way. Sorry, give me 1 second. I have it saved. Can I just copy it in here?
You're able to attach a file or a picture.
Okay. So this it'll show all of Montgomery County, the fair market rents. And this will show you by zip code what. Okay, there you go. So Amelia, that will show you if you do go the Section 8 route, all for each zip code, what you'll get for each bedroom.
Okay. Sweet. Thank you very much.
Yeah. And then if you're dealing with Atkins, he'll have some different property managers for you too. So I wouldn't worry about that.
Okay.
So he's showing you things on market?
So he hasn't shown me anything yet. I actually I called a couple different real estate agents and he was the one that I liked the most because he said he was an investor too. And I just said, I'm going to build a buy box and it's going to take me 3 months to look at it, but I'll maybe call you in 3 months. And he's probably the guy that I'm going to call when I got this more dialed in.
So what for you, Amelia, and for you as well, Mon, I would really recommend typing in your exact criteria of what you want in real estate investing, whether it's cash flow, whether it's profit margin, whether it's cash return, like whatever you want. Also type in what you have, whether you want to use financing or you've got 50 grand in the bank that you want to spend. Type it in the Chat GPT and have Chat GPT build you a buy box.
Ooh, okay. That's really smart.
And you can literally copy and paste that and send it out. So what I did was when I send it out to wholesalers, I just had it build me exactly what I buy and what zip codes, what price range, what criteria, what rehab amount, what all this. And I literally copy, and it's just one file. I just send right to them. So if the wholesale will reach out, just, here's my buy box, send me anything you got that fits this. So have ChatGPT, but it'll also build your investing journey. So tell it everything. You know, like I said, what you're expecting at the end. Like I want 10 houses in a year, and I've got 50 grand to start, or I'm looking for I'm looking for a market in the country that'll give me $500 a door or something like that. Tell ChatGPT, and it'll ask you questions. It'll build it for you. Like literally, I was telling my wife the other night, I stayed up for like an hour just talking to ChatGPT, and I had it like learn me, and I was just, I don't know, I made a new friend that night. But
Vincent, you're
yes.
talking about ChatGPT. So my husband does cybersecurity. The only thing I'm going to say, I think ChatGPT, because you're great. This is something I want to do. He says, be careful, double check your stuff, because sometimes ChatGPT has a mind of its own.
Oh, it does. It for sure does. It knew me like.
Well, no. He says, just double check if you're going to go that route, or you like what their numbers. He says sometimes, because they're picking from everything on the internet, sometimes that information, my husband says, is false. And so that gets mixed too. So just double check those. He says, because I was like, no, I'm going to go with everything. I like this. He's no.
Yeah.
Please double check, honey. And I'm like, okay, because I love ChatGPT too. So, but I've never thought about using it for the real estate. I've just used it for some other stuff that we do. And so when
that's huge. That's a good point. It is looking at everything on the web, right? But as far as like building a chart for you, that's something easy you can send to Atkins or send to wholesalers, whatever. I feel like it'd be a good and quick and easy way to just have something tangible you can just send out to everybody around. But try that too. But yeah, that is a good point, Renee. Like it is going to look at everything and everywhere. So you do have to still be the human behind it. But for the ease of use of just getting your name out there and wanting to, talk to wholesalers and connect with them, is good. Really good.
Vincent, for
yes, what's up, Robbie?
ChatGPT, do you have hey, how are you?
Good. How you doing?
Good. Hey, for ChatGPT, right?
Yes.
Do you have a paid version, or you use the free one?
I use the free one. I haven't bought it. I haven't found a need to buy it yet. I've been looking at their premium or whatever, but I just, everything I've needed has been on the free.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to try that out today.
Yeah. Try ChatGPT I pitched seller finance yesterday, and I had it write me a script, like just to pitch. And, I do it all the time, but I was like, let me just see what ChatGPT will come up with. And I didn't. I mean, it wasn't word for word, but it was just something to kind of reference and look at while I'm talking to the seller.
Yeah.
ChatGPT is amazing. I talk to it when Kenny doesn't want to talk to me, so it agrees with everything I say. So I don't get that at home.
Jen, my husband doesn't want to talk to me right now. What do you think I should do?
I love it.
And then it's like,
I love it, Jen.
Jennifer.
Yes. Yeah, love it. Oh, that's an idea too. I'm gonna have to keep that one. My husband doesn't talk to me a lot of the times too. So good.
Or agree, right? So when you need somebody, there you go.
They never agree with you. Let's just be honest. But we are the ones who wear the pants. So they just got to realize that.
I use ChatGPT as well. It saves like your questions and stuff. So sometimes I don't do it for real estate, but I do it for like personal stuff. And like sometimes it'll like save what you asked them or asked it, and then like your new questions, like it'll just take all that into account, right?
Yeah.
So like if you're asking for like what kind of market do you want to invest in, it'll tell you. Like if you ask like what are like for I think I forgot who that new investor was, but like if you want to if you have a town in mind, you can say like, oh, what's the population growth in the last couple of years, right? It'll tell you that. You can Google it, but it'll just tell you right then and there.
It'll tell you, exactly. Yeah. And give you a chart and everything.
Yeah, it could be useful for finding a market, right? Oh, like what's the job growth? What's the medium house price, right? I mean, those are kind of stats that you want as a newbie investor when you're picking a market anyway, like, job growth, population growth, then like medium house price, and then like rents, right? And then, to Amelia's point, if you want to know like, oh, what are the good locations of X, Y, and Z? I know Vincent's there, but for somebody that's not familiar with the
Yep.
town, you can ask questions like that to kind of hone down on your buy box, like, oh, like school's important, or it needs to be close to a hospital if you want to do MTR. I think stuff like that you can ask, and they'll just grab it from the web, so you don't have to go to like every single website, right?
Yep.
So yeah, but it remembers what you asked it. So it might skew, I think, to Renee's point, sometimes it'll skew your data because they'll take like what you asked before. So, you know.
Well, and here's another one. So he needed a headshot for his LinkedIn. So he put in pictures and it actually came up with an AI professional picture. It does not look like my husband. I'm going to just say it. It was funny as heck. But we posted it on his LinkedIn because he's like, oh, I want that one because I don't want people to know what I look like. I'm like, oh my gosh. He is so security driven.
Yeah.
I met him.
That's his job.
But when I met him, he was like, you got one password for everything? I'm like, yeah. And then he's like, and it's so easy. Somebody can figure it out and steal everything. I'm like, oh, it's not that bad. And he's like, yes, it is.
Look at my password.
I was gonna say to Lindsay, because I know she's doing the ADU, one thing I've done with ChatGPT is help me with my listing, like profile. So, you know, I'll just type whatever and then it sucks. And then I'll say, hey, ChatGPT. And then like for ChatGPT, I treat it like a human. So I'll say, hi, you know, like I'm trying to optimize my listing for an STR in XYZ location. You know, please help me improve this description or whatever. And then I'll actually paste the entire thing of what I put. And then it'll like give me some feedback. And then you kind of take what you want, because sometimes they'll just give whack information from whatever they're trying to grab from the web. But that's helped me as far as kind of like listings. And then for my STR, when like a person texts me something and I want to say it in a better manner, I'll ask ChatGPT for help, like if I'm like rushed at work. And then also it's helpful, like if they ask you, a lot of guests will say like, oh, what's fun to do in, you know, this location? And I'm like, I don't know, I've never been there. But then I'll ask ChatGPT, like, what are the kid-friendly hikes? And then it'll tell me, and then I'll tell the guest that. So for anybody that's doing STR or STR,
that's cool.
Yeah, like, you know, then I use that to help me because I've never been. Like they'll ask like what restaurants are close by that's good, you know, what amenities. So anybody that's doing that, it's been helpful. I thought of Lindsay with her ADU, if she's doing like a listing, ChatGPT can help. And I also use the free version.
Thank you, Jen. Yeah, no, I use ChatGPT. It's a bookmark in all my browsers for sure. I use it for tag generations. Like when I post YouTube videos, I'm like, give me the latest trending tags of YouTube, and then it just gives you. So I just copy and paste and.
Oh wow. Okay, that's smart too. Oh, okay, I didn't know that. That's cool.
ChatGPT can give you therapy too if you don't feel
I
you're
know.
feeling down or you're trying to process some emotion. They can help you for sure.
Yeah, my goal with a lot of these tools is to better learn them, utilize them, because my goal is to market for free. I don't want to spend tens of thousands of dollars every quarter on marketing and mailers and phone calls and VAs. I want to market as free as I can. So if I could find ways free, whether it's Reddit, whether it's ChatGPT, like that is my goal to capitalize on those. I've bought a house from a wholesaler, met from Reddit. You know, I built my buy box on ChatGPT, so like, and I can just market that to wholesalers. So however, you know, I can do that for an affordable price or free is the best for me. But that's cool, Amelia. I'm glad you're reaching out to Atkins. I think that's a good, definitely a good start. I don't talk to, I go direct to seller out there now. So, but I probably have a different, you probably want to buy more turnkey, I'm thinking, right? Just get a tenant and go.
Yeah, probably more turnkey. Yeah.
Okay, we're doing a lot of Burrs right now, so I just like to buy them and rehab them. Burr is my favorite investing strategy. So I just do a lot of direct to seller.
Well, thank you for all your advice. I'll probably reach out with more questions as they come up.
Anytime. Well, anybody have anything else?
Vincent, I have a question. You talked about how you do self-property management.
I really can't hear you, Mon.
You're muffled.
Yeah.
Sorry, it was probably because I had my headphones on. Got little kids running around.
I got you. I can hear you now.
You said that you do self property management. I was wondering, how do you really do that from like a distance? Like, is it up to really the tenants just coming and telling you they need things done, or
Yeah.
and then you've got certain contractors that do things?
Yeah. So building the team is the hardest thing about investing out of state. Finding the deals, funding the deals, rehabbing, like all that's hard, but it's not having a good team is the hardest. So it took a long time to really vet out people and weed out the bad ones, keep the good ones. So now we have a team, and mine's very unique. My tenants text my contractor. They're rarely ever connect with me. Like sometimes they'll still text me about a couple things if it's a big deal, but they'll talk to him and then he'll call me and just be, hey, I'm going over to this house. She called me about this. Okay, cool. So he kind of acts as my property manager because he knows he's going to be the first call to get the work. So that's why I just continue self-managing, because it's like I rarely get calls. I think I had one call this week. Was it last week? Yeah. So I rarely get any calls. Everything's done. Maybe a few text messages, but he kind of handles a lot of it. But that's why I recommended, going with the one-stop shop with like Lindsay recommended, Ryan, like they have the team already out there. They have the boots in the ground. When you're starting out and you kind of want to be hands off, that might be the best way. I dove in 100% and just was doing everything alone, where we're rehabbing from over here. We're looking for plumbers from over here. And that was hard and stressful, because they're going to see you're from Washington, like they do in California, and they're going to think you're some wealthy, rich dude that can afford anything, and they're going to double charge. They're going to, double the price on you. So I think that building the team was the hardest, but now it's pretty simple. But I really recommend. I actually this week moved my last 4 tenants that were not on Turbo Tenant. I just moved them all over this week to Turbo Tenant. So every single one of my tenants is now on Turbo Tenant. And I really recommend that for a property management software if you're going to self-manage. So I guess I'm still self-managing, but Turbo Tenant is going to do a lot. Everything's going to run through their platform now. But I just moved them over this week.
How much is that costing you, Vincent?
Ooh, I should have looked at that. I want to say like 130 a year or something.
Oh, okay.
You said Turbo Tent? What was
Turbo
that?
Tenant.
Turbo Tenant.
Yeah,
Okay.
sorry. Do not quote me. I'll try to get that to you. I'll have that for you this week. I have a call with them, but their customer service, their platform, everything seems to be really good. And I've had many of my other tenants on this already, but I just moved my last 4 over. And I've been nothing but happier. There's a bookkeeping with them too, so you can run all your numbers and your accounts, everything through them. I don't remember how much it is though. I want to say it's like 130 for the year.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's not bad.
I think Hem Lane is like fee per property.
Is it? Okay. And
Jen is asking, any recommendations to find seller finance deals?
oh, I wasn't going to say this on this call, but I'm actually in the works of closing a 48 single family home portfolio deal, hopefully today or tomorrow, which would literally be, I wasn't gonna say it's in Montgomery. It's an 82-year-old gentleman who just wants income. So it'd be 0 down. It's like a huge payment a month. There's a lot of room for
huge payment a month.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He wants a lot, but it'd be 0 down, and he wants it for like 30 years because he wants to hand it down to his son. So I have a call with him after this, and but how I found seller finance deals. So, I guess I can update you on the Jennifer Stewart call, because I found this deal through them. So, the Jennifer Stewart is the Lumberjack's recommendation. So I hired her team for a month. And then, so every week you'll give a list. So you tell their skip tracer whatever criteria you want to market to, and they'll pull the list, and then that day they'll start calling for however many hours you hire, 20, 30, 40 hours, whatever. I have a CRM, so then he'll input everything into the CRM after he talks. So the list I was pulling was, and this is who I market to in my mailers, free and clear, owned free and clear, 5 or more properties, over 55 years old. I don't want a 28, 30-year-old who's got 5 properties because they're just getting into their business and they're not going to want to sell. They're building their business. I want somebody who's at the end, the tail end, they're tired of it. They're self-managing. They're over it. They're just, whatever it is, they're tired of dealing with toilets, all that. So this gentleman actually, he came in as a hot lead, and let's talk about the Jennifer Stewart thing. So that is my list. That was one of the lists I pulled. It was owned 5 or more, over 55 years old, and owned free and clear. Sorry. If you want more people on your list, you can narrow it down to 80% equity, so they maybe have a little bit of debt, things like that. So I market to them. I also market to people that own out of state in the market I'm in. So they own in Montgomery, but they don't live in Montgomery. So that is how I've always found. So
we don't want to touch their.
I found them through, they have to be free. They don't have to be free and clear, but it has to be close to paying that equity off because I don't want to put a bunch of money down. But age and the number of properties where I found finding the best seller finance deals. They understand the business. They're already investors. They're older. They want to get out of it, but they still want cash flow. And if you can guarantee them on the first of every month, they're still going to get a good cash flow. They're not paying capital gains, or they're deferring capital gains, I should say. So there's a lot of incentives, but those are the best lists from what I've seen.
The Jennifer lady, you hired her for a month only, and you got this lead.
Yeah, I got a bunch of other leads, but it worked out. Actually worked out really well.
Are you pulling like a list from like PropStream with that criteria and then handing it to her callers, and then
they do everything?
That sounds good.
You tell them your criteria. So I just send a WhatsApp. I've gotten 4, 10, 12 leads in 3 weeks.
Are you, and then the warm leads you call, right? You call.
So he'll write notes. So that Monday they'll reach out via WhatsApp. They'll go, hey, what do you want to pull this week? What list? And I'll go, give me 55 and up, own 5 or more, free and clear. Okay, cool. That was 1,500. All right, well, let's add this. You tell them what you want. Then they send it directly to the cold caller, and then he handles it from there. You have to have a CRM, and you have to have a dialer. So there's some added fees on top of that. I paid, but I use my CRM for a lot of other things too. But it's like $450 a month or something like that, and then the dialer is like $100 a month.
Mm-hmm.
And then he'll cold call. Hey, I gave him how I wanted him to talk a little bit, a script. But they're already trained. But I told him kind of how I wanted him to kind of be. But he's trained. He good to go. And then he'll call. He'll get a hold of them. He'll input any notes, anything he's got into your CRM, and then he'll give you a time that they're ready for you to call back, and then I just take over from there.
Got it. Is there like okay, I understand that. That's super helpful. Congrats, by the way. I don't want to sound like a lazy investor, but I'm a lazy investor or an introvert. Like, I think my gap is like, let's say I pull the list from PropStream and I hire this company. I think getting it to the end, like Kenny can underwrite and say like, this is what works for us. But like talking to people, that time and that fear of rejection, like high school, is something we're not comfortable with. Are there 100%. Are there companies like that will take you there like with a commission? Like I think we'd be okay paying that. It's just we don't want to do it.
I have not found one, but I will say I know that they're there. Jason, my mentor, he's got I think 1 or 2 VAs that can close a deal.
Got it.
So, but he's had to also train them for years to do that. So I think, I mean, anybody can do anything if you train them right. But yes, I think. I don't know about any business or services. I have to look that up or ask around, but that would just give you all the way, take it to the finish line. Because I would love that too, honestly, because I was literally getting my daughter ready for softball last night, and I'm trying to get her uniform on and everything, and I'm literally on my AirPods trying to negotiate the seller finance deal, and I'm like, I don't want to do this, but it's what I have to do right now. Kind of starting out with this stuff, but no, it's hard because you'll still talk to. They have to understand the inflection. They have to understand sarcasm. They have to understand, all these things that come with the first seller initial call.
Social cues.
Yeah, those cute, exactly. So, and this guy does, and he's really good. But I want somebody in the middle too to negotiate the deal. They bring it to me. Hey, does these numbers work? Yeah, it works. Or no, it doesn't. Get them to here. I would love that.
Okay. I think, but does it exist? I guess what you said is correct. Like finding a closer. Does Jennifer Stewart, does she have people that can
I don't
help
know.
you? Okay.
I can ask. I can WhatsApp her and ask. I'm not sure though. That would be good to know if I could just hire a second one, or that one to even cold call and close the deal.
Okay.
I'm not sure though.
48 units.
Huh?
That's awesome.
I know.
Yeah. So this deal, he was open to selling one. That was the call was for one of the addresses popped up, and then I saw in my CRM, I'm like, he's got 47 others in here, and I was like, would you be interested in just selling all those? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, oh, well, tell me about what you have going on. He's like, I'm 82. I built this over 40 years. I've self-managed everything. I have no books. I just collect rent. Like everything is sloppy and just, not done on the records. I was like, perfect. I was like, I'll let you know this. No bank will finance this deal because there's no paperwork on this. There's no rent rolls, there's no T12, there's nothing on this. So I was like, we have to talk about how we can get this done. So I just brought up seller financing, and I was like, do you have any kids? Like, would they be interested in taking this portfolio over? He's like, I don't think he wants this. I'm like, perfect. Good. Would he want income coming in? He's like, oh, I'd love to hand that down to him. Cool. I was like, well, what are you getting for rent now? And he's so under on his rents. I was like, I can give you what you're getting now, and I'll just come in and raise all these rents over time, and I'll just cash flow from there. So he's like, I'm gonna talk to my son today. So I'm gonna check in on with him today. And I'm like, hey, if I can give you $3 million, with a loan, I can give you $3 million cash, but you're gonna have to pay almost $1 million just in taxes. And I know you don't want to do that. And he's like, no, I don't want to do that. I was like, what if I can guarantee you income and you can hand it down to your son? And he's like, I would love that. So hopefully I'm gonna get this one done. It's gonna be a lot of work. Like I'm literally probably gonna have to fly out there on Monday if I get this closed. But this could really be like a big win.
Life-changing.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. I'm really hoping for this. I don't want to get excited or anything. I wasn't even gonna say anything about it until next week, but
You're gonna kill it.
I hope. Thank
Yes,
you.
you will. And
Thank
bring,
you. Thank you.
bring back the good news. So but then like, I mean, I know we're over. So I mean, I'd be interested to know like, the condition of the property and like, when you close, not if, when you close, like how are you going to figure out like all the rehab and stuff like that? That's interesting to me, but yeah.
There's no way I would be able to look at all 48 of them. Like there's just no way I can walk them, see them, scope them out. It would just be kind of like, I got to run my number of service level. And if it works, it works. And I just got to come in and I'll have to rehab some and fix them up. But I know some of his rents are modern. They're up to market rate. But I know a lot of them aren't. So it'd be more of just going project by project and fixing it up, raising rents, fix it up, raise rents. But I could do it at my speed. I'm not refining out. I'm just paying him, and whatever cash flow I increase from there on out is mine.
You negotiated like what down and what interest like so far?
He's open to 0 down.
Oh my gosh.
Nice. He just wants because I'm like, I can give you pretty much what you're getting right now, and we'll just start as soon as we close. And he's like, yeah. I told him, I was like, hey, you built this over 40 years. I don't want to rush this at all. Like, let's do what we got to do. Like, I get you're 82 and his health is declining. I'm like, well, let's I'm gonna stay on him, but let's we don't want to rush this deal. And he's like, yeah, that's perfect. But everything's working now. Like, he's just I'm scared. But my one fear is that his son is going to talk him out of it because he is 82 and. The son is like, why are you answering these calls, Dad? Like things like that. I'm worried. So that's why I'm gonna check on him today.
Oh wow, that's cool. Congrats.
Yeah. Thank you.
Keep us posted. Now we're FOMO. I listened to Daniel Kong on Zuber, and then I decided I wanted to flip in Hawaii. Now you're telling me this story, and I'm gonna start calling Jennifer Stewart.
Yeah. I will. I'll put that as my homework. I will find something, Jen. I'll ask my mentor as well, like he recommended for that. And I know his were trained, his VAs, like they would sit on his sales calls and his coaching calls, and they would just learn directly from him. And then they practiced, and then they ended up getting good, and now they close his own deals. But I'll figure that out if there is a service, because I think it would be hard because every market is different. So it might be like, hey, me and Kenny, we might have to train this VA for 2, 3, 4 weeks, whatever. As long as they have sales and negotiation skills, but we have to teach them the market or show them kind of what we're looking for or why we need to be at this number or things like that. Maybe, I don't know, but I'll ask.
Yeah, I know, like it's a whole like personal thing, and you got to go with it as you hear the seller. But it's not to say that, you know, people like me and Kenny are any better than this person that's more removed, right? We may know the market, but the way that we sell and talk may not be as good as, you know, so it's a give or take. So I'd be interested, just because we don't have
I'll
that
ask Jennifer
skill.
also if she offers that service or what that would look like, or if she knows anything too.
Okay. I think all of us will hang up and look for seller finance deals now.
Oh yeah, seller finance is the best. And
oh my gosh,
but
very
go
nice.
for Virginia. Go for age, amount of properties owned, and free and clear or close to free and clear.
I think for me and Kenny, like we can find that list. We actually have PropStream from years ago. I don't think we're utilizing it, but then we have a list and then that's it. Kenny and I just look at each other and be like, congrats. I think taking it further than that, like we have no idea. Like we don't know where to go. We don't have time. We don't like rejection, like all that stuff. Rejection over email is okay, but talking to them and they start cursing at you, I think we don't want to go through that. So that's why hearing your story inspires us, but then also I want to learn more tools to get us there, right?
I think what you can do is if you did hire Jennifer's team, you can tell them what to say on that initial call. So you can have them pull that list and then have them pitch seller finance. Like, would you be open to, and give them like, hey, would you be open to defer your taxes and get passive income every month with this, you know, like have them pitch that right there. And then whatever leads you get from that, then maybe call. Cause you already know it's warm at that point. Right.
Okay. That's good. Yeah.
Cause I tell him what to say. Like I gave him a script a little bit and just said, hey, kind of work off this. So, and I listened to his calls and he's doing it.
Okay. That's good. Thank you so much for sharing your story too.
Oh, I appreciate it.
That's awesome. You did some great negotiating. It sounds like you brought up some great points.
Yeah. It was like 3 days of it, of just building rapport with this guy. He asked, he's like, where do you live? And I was like, I spend a lot of time in Alabama because he's 82 and I didn't want him to know I'm some California kid. And I was like, I spend a lot of time out there, but I'll be out there Monday if you'd like. And he's like, okay, well, we have to go to lunch though. So I literally might be buying a plane ticket on Sunday and going out. I'm not sure.
Awesome.
Hopefully. But I told him like, we'd have to get something on paper before I'm not going out if nothing's on paper yet. So we'll see. I'm going to call him. It's 11 o'clock. I'm going to call him this afternoon and try to get something ink on pen or pen on paper, whatever. Yeah, so I recommend them though so far. I've got about 12 leads in 3 weeks. I think next week is my last week on this month run. So I remember, Lindsay, you asked, would I do it again if I got one?
Yeah. You got a big one.
Yeah.
Maybe if you get ChatGPT to write up an agreement and then you just kind of say, hey, how does this sound?
That's what I was saying. I wrote up a seller financing. That was literally wrote up because I didn't want to mess this one up at all. So I had ChatGPT write me up one, and I just was kind of referencing it and going over it. And I literally typed in the deal. I said, I have an 82-year-old seller who owns 48, like literally told everything. And it said all the way from the intro, I really respect what you built. I want to give you an offer that is commending of what you built and all this. Like it literally did everything.
Nice.
It says these are the terms I'm comfortable with, and it was like it worked out.
Awesome.
So we'll see.
Anybody can top that during this call.
No, I didn't want to say anything. I didn't want to say it too early. I was gonna wait till next week to say if it went good or bad, but I'm trying not to get emotionally attached to this deal because it literally, my wife is already looking at buying stuff right now.
Well, thanks for sharing, and we're all rooting for you. So
Thank you,
for
Jen,
sure.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, congrats, bro. Yeah, for sure. But
Thank you, Val.
I know what you're saying though, but I feel like this. these new generation, I don't know how old his son is, but a lot of these new generations, man, these cats don't want to work. They don't want to work. So even though I know what you're posing for as just sending him a check, he's gonna be more down for that, especially because now he ain't gonna have to do no work. So just so just still stay motivated. Don't don't let that deter you. You're gonna get this deal and it's all gonna work out. So
yeah. Well, if you guys follow me on Instagram, I will definitely be posting. If I do, I'll let you know.
Yeah, sure.
I appreciate it, Mr. Fears. That was kind of my thought behind it too. It's just, that's the mental mindset. I got to get over that little hump of, the what ifs, and, what if he's like, and I was thinking of my grandpa before he passed. I was like, Grandpa, you can't be answering these phone calls. Like, what are you doing? I'm like, hang up. Oh, these people are selling you a drink. Like, no, that's not right. And then I'm just thinking on his end, he's like, Dad, what are you doing? Like, you can't be answering these phone calls. Like, this guy's promising you this, that's not real. Cause he doesn't know. He's like, his son doesn't do anything in the business. He works for the city of Montgomery, and he just works. He's like, he doesn't even do I self-manage everything. And I'm like, dang, what if, but if I can guarantee him $25K a month forever in Montgomery, Alabama, he's living pretty good with $25K coming in every month,
He gonna live like he gonna ball out like a king down there in Alabama.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. And he ain't got to do no work.
Nothing. That's why, and that's what I'm telling him. Like, your son can retire right now, and when he passes, right? But he can retire essentially once you go, and then sit on the couch and make more than he was making at his job for 30 years.
Congrats.
Thank you. That's all from that lead came from Jennifer's team. So I just found the what did Pace say, Lindsay? The bunnies.
Find the bunny.
The bunny.
Yeah.
Find the bunnies. That's his story. Yeah. Is it a month-to-month thing? The commitment with Jennifer? Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Yep. So you just pay for whatever, and if I want to move on, I'll probably pay again next week, and then.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's
but there's a lot of I would say a lot of my leads are long-term follow-ups.
Okay.
So like, hey, I'm not ready now. I still initiate a call to them though, just to introduce myself and build a little rapport, because maybe I can change their mind. Maybe but a lot of them are check back in 3 months, or call me in 2 weeks, or. So there's a lot of those.
It's the consistency and the follow-up, I think, is
That's hard.
Right? Yeah. It's like you hear the deals and then it sounds so easy, and then it's the follow-up and the consistency that's hard.
Because life gets in the way, and you're like, damn, I didn't remember to call them, in 4 weeks. I'm not going to remember that, and or it's not going anywhere. And then you start thinking like, this is a waste of time. But the deals that are in the follow-up, you're never going to, or I'm not going to say you're never going to close on the first call, but it's rare that you're going to close on the first call.
Yeah. And people want like an easy way, right? It's hard to stay focused and keep it going. I think with everything, but then especially with real estate. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Well, does anybody have anything else? Any questions or anything? Lindsay?
No questions right now, but we will see each other next week on Friday. Or are you on vacation?
Oh no! Wait, are you leaving? Aren't you leaving?
Yeah, my conference is not until Saturday. So
no, when's your big trip?
That's end of May.
Oh, end of May. Okay. No, I'm good next week. I don't leave till the 6th of May.
Okay. So we'll see you next Friday then.
Hopefully I have good news for you guys.
Yes.
Yeah, right. Look forward to hearing. Yeah, best of luck.
All right, you guys have a good week. Thanks for all the support, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks. Bye.
All right,
Thank you.
Have a good day.